My name is David McFarland. I'm the cinematographer on the film MAFAK, which the American title is Screwdriver. We shot the film in Palestine in the West Bank. It's a Palestinian film made by a director named Bassam Jarbawi. I try and spend a lot of time on the locations and see what's happening, lighting, like what the natural indigenous lighting is. In this case, it was a lot of sodium vapor. And so that became, a big influence on the color palette of the film, because there's a dichotomy in what's happening with the character, with who he's trying to be in his new life and who he is. And I wanted there to be a dichotomy to the lighting as well in terms of color. So there's the very orange, very warm tones of the sodium vapor mixed with the cool tones of a metal halide or fluorescent, which is very prevalent in the refugee camp. I never want my approach to overtake what's happening naturally. So I'm trying to just either subtract light or enhance what's happening there. And I try to do the same thing with the camera work. I never wanted to draw attention to the camera. I wanted the viewer to be very observational. When deciding how to shoot the film, we ended up deciding to use the Alexa Mini. The movie is, I'd say, 90% handheld. And I was able to, move the camera in a way and put the camera in a position that I feel like hopefully helps the viewer kind of get into Ziad, the main character's mind. In that sense, the Mini was just absolutely the right way to go. The film benefits from it. It was really nice. I did something that I've never done before, which is I took the battery off and I took all the accessories off and put it in a backpack, so the camera got very, very small, which is something I've wanted to do before, but just haven't had the reason to. It made, moving the camera very kinetic. The Alexa has a very filmic quality to it. It's very soft. And the way the highlights roll off is very appealing. And it's not something you have to figure out later. It's something you just, if you expose properly, then it's got the latitude in a very soft way, the highlights punch and get very crispy in a great way, but they don't start looking hyper real or digital. The advent of having the internal NDs on this camera system is very, very helpful. I carry an ND3 because sometimes, that's all you need is one stop, and the internal NDs start at 6. But yeah, I was usually, a lot of times I'd be, with the internal 2.1 filter, and I didn't shoot with any other filters. I shot this film on a really old rehouse set of Cooke S2s, so I didn't want to put any glass in front of them. I wanted them to be as kind of gnarly as they could be. One thing that I was nervous about was we didn't have a backup camera when we were filming. With that in mind, we'd never had any problems, which I was amazed about. And I'd spent earlier in 2017, I made a film in India called The Sweet Requiem, and we filmed that on the Alexa SXT. And we put that system in just the most harsh conditions, from shooting at 15,000 feet in sub-zero temperatures to 45 degrees Celsius in Delhi. It was really cold, and then it was really hot. And on both the Sweet Requiem and on MAFAK, I never had any camera problems, which kind of amazes me to this day. So yeah, I feel really good about what ARRI's been doing in the way they construct their cameras. And that says a lot. That really helps me not have to worry about that kind of thing. It allows me to be a lot more creative and free up my brain to better things than worrying about if a camera's going to overheat or freeze or whatever.